Hello YouTube, this is Lone Pantheist. Today I want to sort of kind of reiterate some things, kind of do my evaluation of the religions, especially Hinduism, which is, as you all know, my favorite of them. And I just wanted to point out why there can be different sects of Hinduism. Yeah, I really shouldn't say sects. I'm going to start using variations because I can hear the 15-year-olds coming on here and giggling through the whole thing. Variations of Hinduism. Don't really keep that. I'm going to read, and it's from. Okay, it's it's in Roman numerals. So let's see, that's 100. 129, hymn 129, verse 7. He, the first origin of this creation, whether he formed it all or did not form it, whose eye controls this world in highest heaven. He verily knows it, or perhaps he knows not. They, of course, are talking about the creation of the world, because it goes on later to state, or prior to that verse, that the gods are later than this world's production, so who knows what happened during the creation. Perhaps he knows not. It's very scientific, and Hinduism is a religion that bases itself off of observations, and you can actually take away certain things and still be a Hindu. You can add some things. You can make your own school of thought. You can join a school of thought, and it really depends on the variations of Hinduism on which one actually really adheres to caste system and stuff like that. Unfortunately, Christianity, mainstream Christianity, which is really not Christianity, at least not in its original form, really does badmouth Hinduism by picking out all the sort of, I don't want to say outdated versions of Hinduism, but just all the stuff that really is like most Hindus don't practice. And they like to pick at that and say, oh, that's Hinduism. Perhaps he knows not means basically there's nothing set in stone here. Okay, there can't be, because there's a possibility of ignorance, and that's something that Hinduism, in its very core, recognizes. That's why you say, I don't believe in caste system, I don't even believe in the gods, but I respect Brahmin, and therefore I'm a Hindu. So a person could say that. I usually still stick with pantheism because I never visited a Hindu temple, and so I'm not saying like visit a church or nothing, because you actually just go there on your own. But I don't want to claim a religion and just not live up to that title, I suppose. But so that is the reason why Hinduism is open to other ideas. Now, the core elements of Hinduism are very scientific. They do blend science well. Reincarnation hasn't, I can't say that it's been absolutely proven, but law of conservation of energy and mass states that everything gets recycled. So consciousness could get recycled. The oneness of the universe, which is very, very much stated throughout the whole of Hinduism. That is, for the most part, a fact. It's just whether or not the consciousness part of it is perhaps what will take just that little leap. But so this is a religion. Hinduism is a religion based on observation, and some 89%, according to one survey, of Indian Hindus accept evolution. They have no problem with it. That's higher than some European countries, definitely higher than the United States. They absolutely have no problem with evolution. They have no problem with single-celled organism, developing and becoming more complex and changing, and the cycles of the seasons. Well, nobody has a problem with that. We can see that, but just things that change. Most religions don't like change, but Hinduism actually embraces change because it wants to. That's the core element of Hinduism, is everything that's created gets destroyed. It's kind of like what was written in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun, and it really isn't. We pretty much imagine in our mythologies things that we have essentially made now. So it's not, in a psychological sense, there's nothing new. There's nothing. nothing new about people living 1,000 years in a psychological sense, because people have read the Bible. People living 900 years. It's something that's been imagined before, and the only difference is that jump. This is kind of going off topic, but anyway, it's that jump to from not fantasy, but mental to physical. Mentally you can imagine living 900 years. Now physically you can, or in the future. At least if the transhumanists get their way. But yeah, so everything that we imagine is usually, it takes a while, and then we eventually do it. Sometimes it's not exactly the way we imagined it. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's better than what we imagined. Sometimes it's worse than what we imagined. But yes, now for the Bible. New Jerusalem. And this is back when I was a Christian. See all those little notes and everything. Yeah, this is back when I was like 16. Okay, let's try to find the Book of Wisdom. Here we go. Very sad, because the Book of Wisdom doesn't make it into the mainstream, but it's very cool. Chapter 12, verse 1 says, "For your imperishable spirit is in everything." Pantheism, or panentheism. Then, of course, you have Acts 17:25, or somewhere around there. For in him we live, move, and have our being. In him we live, move, and have our being. So mainstream Christianity that dogs on pantheism hasn't really read their Bible. And I do think that there is perhaps a deeper philosophy that one can engage in, other than just the front face of the Bible. Just like mythology. Reading mythology, believe it or not, will actually tell you more about the society. Reading Greek mythology will tell you more about Greek society than archaeology can. Reading the literature tells you about their psyche, what they think, what they imagine, how they feel, how they engage emotion, how they view good and evil, bad and good, or yeah, good and evil, and sex even. So yeah, and that's why I observe religion, or I look through religion books as well, because you got to look through the mythology. What is the mythology trying to state for that time and place? And the philosophy is very similar to the philosophy that we're developing through science, namely pantheism. Especially Hinduism. Hinduism is odd because it's nearly 4,000 years old. Modern Hinduism, you go back in time as early as nearly 20,000 years to find some of the earliest signs of Hinduism. The goddess statues, like 22,000 years ago, they found in India, rumored to be Shakti, or maybe even Kali. So yeah, so that's the only one though. Hinduism is the only one that really states. Pantheism is like the main thing. They have polytheism, monotheism, but interconnectedness is what it's getting at. Whereas the other religions, interconnectedness is kind of secondary, maybe not even that, but yeah, but it's still in there. So that's just kind of cool. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.